request over by our representative, Dunbar. So please rise.
Now to west over, voices loud and clear to thee. With loyal hearts we raise our cheer. Raise to the skies above and praise the school we love. West over forevermore we sing to thee. Now as in years to come, our thoughts will be of west over, and the years spent with thee. Our motto ever to think, to do, to be. West over forevermore we sing to thee.
We gather today for convocation, a ceremony that is the occasion for all to consider a central aspiration that makes us into a community, to be educated. We are reminded that we are here in the first place as a school, and we are reminded of what our mission is and what our goals should be. Faculty and student speakers therefore remind us both of what the purpose of our central enterprise is and what the school has in store for us all. Beyond our speakers, you will also have the chance to recognize and congratulate the accomplishments of your classmates. I want to begin the ceremony this morning by taking a moment to consider our theme for the year, Power of Women. Although the theme will play out in many ways across the curriculum as we celebrate what women are capable of and how far we've come, I want to remind us that the external pressures that society puts on women are still very real and present today. Back in 2002, 15 years ago, when we were all very, very young, Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, gave a TED Talk titled, "Why We Have Too Few Women Leaders." In a follow-up interview with Sandberg in 2013, she spoke about the stereotypes still prevalent throughout the world that hold women back from leadership roles. She said, "All over the world, no matter what our culture, we think men should be strong, aggressive, assertive, and have voice. We think women should speak when they're spoken to and help others." That cuts across all countries and all backgrounds. This summer, a New York Times article titled "Why Women Aren't CEOs" highlighted similar concerns. One woman was quoted, "My biggest Achilles heel was my own confidence in myself and my ability to accomplish a task that seemed giant, daunting, and scary." The article goes on to say, "Women are often seen as dependable, less often as visionary. Women tend to be less comfortable with self-promotion and more likely to be criticized when they do grab the spotlight." Although some improvements have been made, the numbers are still stark. Only 6% of chief executives in Fortune 500 companies are women. Only 5 governors are women. 19% of Congress is women. And that is up only from 14% 15 years ago, when many of you were born. In the sciences, although 42% of women hold jobs in life, physical, and social sciences, 25%, only 25% hold computer and mathematics occupations, and 14% in architecture and engineering. Women still only make 80 cents to the man's dollar, with that number dropping to 63 cents for Black women and 54 cents for Latinas. I mention this not to discourage us, but to encourage us to continue the fight for equity. One of the things that Sheryl Sandberg encouraged women to do back in 2002 was to take a seat at the table, meaning that you should be present and not take a back seat. All of you have already have a seat at the table by sitting in this room today. Don't be afraid to celebrate your own successes and support your peers and their successes. Talk such as, I failed that, I can't do this, this is going to be too hard, are too commonplace in our vernacular and work against our ability to succeed. Every year we graduate confident and vibrant young women who go on to accomplish amazing things. And it is often the relationships and support network of the women that at Westover, as a fourth year, that sticks with them and bolsters them in their lives moving forward. And so I welcome you to the start of a new school year, and I challenge you to stand up for yourself, to lean in, and to rise above the adversity that you may face, even in small ways, because every little bit helps. Because you all have the opportunity to continue to change statistics. And with that, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Tim Dunbar. Convocation speaker today. She's earned high honors and distinction every term so far at Westover. She has won the RPI Medal and the Harvard Book Award, and also the Gary Award for the past 3 years. She was first head of Glee and Drum and was Math SAC rep last year. She was also named as an AP Scholar with distinction. Outside of the classroom, she plays soccer and lacrosse, but is also an active member of the drama program, performing in 4 plays thus far, and has been nominated for 3 individual Halo Awards. This past summer, she worked for SLU, writing blog posts and about space and was able to control a solar telescope on the Canary Islands. Without further ado, welcome.
Some small and some significantly bigger. But I've taken a lot from these experiences and I'd like to share some of my findings with you. First of all, cherish Westover. It's hard to sometimes, especially when you're drowning in homework and don't have time to conference before a big test. You should have started that essay a week ago and have a game 2 hours away, but you have to go to some required events. You won't have fond memories of everything that happens here, and that's okay. You will, however, have a high school experience unlike any other. Your non-Westover friends are going to be very confused about what a German is and why you're wearing a sailor's suit. You'll probably be a little confused about that too, but no one else is ever going to have these experiences. Secondly, don't be afraid to be yourself. At first, when I was a freshman, I didn't want to talk about my favorite soccer team because I knew no one would be interested. And now people ask me all the time how Chelsea are doing. On a slightly bigger scale, I was even more nervous about coming out because I was afraid that people would look at me differently. What I found is that people in general here don't dislike other people for being different. We dislike people who don't accept those differences. Sure, it may be scary to open yourself up, but embrace what makes you special, and this community will embrace you. Thirdly, keep yourself healthy. It's easy to let yourself slide, academically, morally, and as a friend. And it's hard to be self-aware to notice that you're faltering. I know that I have a lot of trouble figuring out where that imaginary line into bad territory is. Some people can stay far away from it, some people know the line exists and consciously toe it, and I have no idea where that line is until I cross it. But trust your gut. If something feels wrong, then it probably is. If something feels right, then it's probably at least worth exploring. Trust the judgment of the people closest to you, too. When your best friend tells you that something seems off, she probably has a good point. Put your health and happiness first, and don't do things that jeopardize it. Finally, believe in yourself. I mentioned earlier that I messed up my train this summer. I am clearly not an experienced commuter, and as I realized that the train was moving north instead of south, I panicked for a second. However, I calmed myself down, bought a different ticket, texted the people who needed to know, got off at the next station, and took the right train, and this time it was the correct one. It's okay if your plans don't work out perfectly. It doesn't matter if you make dumb mistakes every once in a while. What's important is that you stay calm, keep your head up, and don't falter. You are all smart, capable young women, and trust me, as long as you know where you want to go and how you can get there, you'll be fine. I know that this is easier said than done, and both of these things are really hard to know. But check in with yourself, be in tune with yourself, and just keep moving forward. I want to leave you with something my wonderful advisor, Allie, reminded me of on the first day back. Stay present. Don't take what we have here for granted. Don't wish away your year here. This next year won't be easy, and you will be challenged in a lot of ways. But lean into that discomfort. Don't shy away from it, and you'll emerge just fine. Thank you.
Our faculty speaker this year is Tracy Lytle. Tracy is beginning her 16th year as part of the Westover community. She is currently our Assistant Dean of Students, Freshman Dean, and Day Student Advisor. But over the years, she has served as dorm parent, yearbook advisor, Dorcas advisor, Spanish tutor, JV field hockey coach. She graduated from Brigham Young University with a BA in anthropology. And one of Tracy's favorite things to do is travel. She spent a year living in India on exchange with a local family there, as well as a semester in Costa Rica. She's also been a leader of Westover's cultural immersion trip to Rwanda and a volunteer for ESL literacy programs. She lives on campus with her family and likes to spend her free time reading, hiking, and swimming. It is my pleasure to have Tracy as our convocation speaker.
Last spring, a student lit. The use of lanterns at Westover goes back to the founding of the school by Mary Robbins Hillard in 1909. I met with Muffy Green, the Westover archivist, this summer to learn more. What did I find? A small handwritten note from Miss Hillard that essentially says, "We have decided to make the school symbol a lantern, and I'll tell you the reason later." Love hearing. Fortunately, the literary magazine The Lantern tells us a bit more in the editorial pages from its November 1909 edition. The lantern, which is to be the name that will be kept, we hope, throughout all the years of Westover School, seems to be appropriate in more ways than one. When you remember that the lantern is used to throw out light, does it not seem to you that this is what we are striving to accomplish? In order to make our lanterns shine bright and gleaming, contribute your part of the light, and do not seek to hide your candle under a bushel. The lantern is a symbol of our inner light or spark that ignites and burns brighter as we learn and as we strive to improve. The lamp of learning that illuminates the school crest helps us interpret the meaning and application of the motto, to think, to do, to be. To think and use your mind to gain knowledge and wisdom. To do and put into action and daily practice what you have learned. And to be and become a mindful, thoughtful, compassionate, and kind person. The Westover traditions of candlelight, Westover Germans, dirge, and the lantern ceremony all include an element of sharing light. When one is outside of the pond or up at Seven Sisters, you quickly learn that your flame must first be strong and steady before you can light someone else's candle. I would like to suggest some ways to steady and strengthen your inner light to keep it lit. They are simple suggestions, but their value is not to be underestimated. The Buddha says, "Thousands of candles can be lighted by a single candle." You never know the impact our light and love will have on others' day. Here are some suggestions. Smile. Have you ever been walking down the hall and someone you don't know very well smiles at you? This simple act has the ability to change your mood and brighten your day as the smile giver or the smile receiver. Along the same line, try to speak to new people, learn their names, and introduce them to your friends. Encourage others. Take a minute and consider how you can genuinely compliment someone. When you look outside yourself to encourage, compliment, and support others, it does not take away from you or make you less. The candle loses nothing by lighting another's candle. I have seen examples of giving support and encouragement here at Westover. It's part of what makes working here so special. For example, the way you comfort and support each other during and after the election ceremony, whether you win or not, is truly inspirational. Spend time with others and unselfishly give some of your time listening to someone else. This is where quality is more important than quantity. Listen to someone at lunch or as you walk to class or on the bus. Listen without thinking about what you want to say next. Really listen. Give the speaker your undivided attention by putting your phone away. If you've ever gone to your proctor with a question or concern, you've probably seen her put active listening training into action. So thank you, proctors, for the listening that you did. Express gratitude. As you cultivate the skill of being grateful, your ability to appreciate will increase. I say it as a skill because sometimes it doesn't come naturally or even fit your feelings. Choose to give thanks and be grateful. It will contribute to the mood, the vibe of your classes, your team, your dorm, your family, and your high school experience. Stop complaining. Complaining casts a shadow. It is so easy, even habitual, to complain that I would say it takes active avoidance to stop. Don't you just hate that? I once worked with a dorm parent here who had her corridor wear a simple rubber bracelet that they were instructed to move from one wrist to the other when they caught themselves complaining. The switch was a reminder to reset their goal to stop complaining. Be positive, try to focus on the good. A Chinese proverb, "It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness." Doesn't the idea of cursing darkness seem so exhausting? But just like not complaining, takes determination and self-discipline. If you look for the worst in someone or something, you will find it. Concentrate on the good. And finally, share a laugh. Laughter is a balm for the afflicted. When we lighten up and laugh, we feel more positive, optimistic, and positive. The Westover experience, literally and figuratively, gives you the opportunity to carry a lantern, chase away darkness, and shine light on the path well worn for more than 100 years. I invite you to make your contribution and hold your light up high to make this year truly lit. Make sure your lantern is all the way turned.
Snake in the kitchen, snake in the kitchen. I didn't think I said hello.
Some people said, oh, I couldn't stay in that house anymore. I would have to move. Then there were people who asked detailed questions about the color of the snake, the size of the snake, the shape of the snake. And apparently, because the shape of the snake's head could mean it's a copperhead. And people would say it like that. Is it a copperhead? Because that's a poisonous snake. I seriously doubted it was cups. And then there was one person from Texas who looked at me and eyes to say, really? That's all you got? And then he detailed all the ways of Texas. Snakes were in houses, in pool filters, caught in windows. Like, he was just not impressed. Or like, calm down, maybe. So the snake grew in size in my mind all day as I repeated the story. And it went from like this big to this big to like an anaconda. So when I went home that night and I looked over in the corner where the snake was in, I realized it really not been very big. It's not like this big. It was also very unlikely to be a copperhead, which was verified by the Texans who say copperhead rock climbers. I realized my client had grown up was probably a harmless garden snake. Got lost on his way, slipping around the basement, looking for mice to eat, minding his own business, and he probably ended up in this place where he was like, what am I doing here? To be this terrifying, life-threatening incident. So I need to mention at this juncture that I started to get into meditation this summer. And this is mainly because when I've been spending time with family and friends, I frequently find myself to be preoccupied about other things, like, say, things at Westover, or maybe things I really have absolutely no control over, like global climate change. And I've come to believe the most important thing about meditation practice, and that it's all about both focusing on the present and letting go. The past quickly gets distorted in memory through your emotional filter, exhibit A, snake size. And worrying about the future, well, who knows what the future will bring. And I found that to be focused in the present is such a simple but powerful tool that the only way to shape our lives is to be fully present in the moment. Worrying about the future won't change anything, and in fact, it will only diminish us making the most of our lives in the present. I didn't want to get to the end of my life having not solved climate change through worrying, and also having not enjoyed time with the people I love. So, of course, I want to reassure all the teachers and advisors in the room. I am not advocating throwing time management out the window. Like, I can't do my homework, I'm living in the present. Having a plan for when you get your math homework done tomorrow is wise. I would say spending an hour worrying that you didn't understand the lesson during class, and then spending an hour worrying about when you're going to get it done, is not a good use of your time. Like, finding expertise and setting up a conference and going over it, that's a good use of your time. Because in your mind, your snake is going to go from this big to this big to this big. And you want to keep it this big because that's what the reality is. And like finding a snake in your kitchen, there are crazy things in the world going on outside our control. Lately, there have been a lot of kitchen snakes we've all been dealing with. We've been watching horrible storms, wildfires, flooding in the United States and across the world. Political leaders in the world seem to be acting with reckless abandon about scary things like nuclear weapons. However, on the other hand, we're seeing inspiring stories of heroism and selflessness coming out of places like Houston in the face of previously unimaginable disasters. So humans seem to be rising to the challenge at the same time. So how does my scaly with you roommate story fit in here? How do we stay in the place of heroism and compassion when we are tempted to feel dispirited and defeated? I believe the way forward is to be in the moment with our relationships and our values. What do we value at Westover? Our motto is to think, to do, to be. We value thoughtfulness. We value insight. We value the life of the mind. We come to school each day to investigate ideas and subsequently grow as people. We also value doing, taking these ideas and putting them into practice. How can I make this community a better place? How can I make my world a better place, even in a small way? How can I be the best roommate, friend, teammate, colleague I can be? I heard that as long as you are breathing, there is more right with you than wrong with you. I find this very powerful. As long as you are breathing and feel your breath, there's more right with you than wrong with you. Because sometimes it feels like there's a lot wrong. Keep that in mind. To me, to be means essentially there is more right with you than wrong with you. Fight against that. Embrace what I think is the essential goodness in yourself and others. Just by being you, you are naturally a compassionate soul who can appreciate and nurture the compassion in others. And in terms of relationships, your family and your friends, the love you give and the love you receive, although it may be the biggest cliche in the world, those relationships make life worth living. And relationships only flourish when you give them good attention, not showing up and being distracted by the worries in your life or in the bigger world. But be there in the moment, in the time with the people you love, and both your life and the world will become a little more manageable. So how does the snake story end? I have not seen my road-like buddy or any of his friends since that day in July. Facilities capped all the pipes where they came up from the basements, and nobody can climb up anymore. But honestly, when I think about it, I think about a few things. One, the number of people who told me that seeing a snake in their house was their greatest fear. Like I said, some of the expressions I saw on their faces. I know, I'm thinking the same thing. But you know, I saw this snake, and I'm fine. I survived. It was not a life-threatening experience. And I will say, that knowledge is worthwhile. And two, I actually now feel bad for how I reacted, and I have compassion for this poor snake. He was just doing a snake thing. I don't think my reaction harmed him, but I wonder if things would have turned out any differently if I had been a little calmer, a little more considerate, a little more in the moment. He could just do his snake thing, and I could do my human thing, and Jeff could have quietly put him outside. But could the snake and I have lived together in my kitchen? The answer to that is probably no. And I would also say upon reflection that the more I consider things from the point of view of the snake, the less fear I feel towards the snake. And maybe that's the big lesson in all of this. If we could all try to walk, or maybe slither, in each other's shoes from time to time, maybe we could all bring less fear and more compassion into the world each moment that we live. Thank you.
This is a ceremony primarily for students and student awards, but it's also appropriate to give an award to a faculty or staff person who's done something extraordinary. And this award is for that. I'm presenting the Margaret Love Stevens Chair for Moral and Ethical Education. The school's focus on the character, and the award reads this way. The school's focus on the character and education of the students is woven into every aspect of the daily life of the school community, not just in the classroom and in chapel, but on the playing fields, to the museum courts, along the dormitory corridors, in the dining hall, and club meeting discussions and excursions beyond the walls of the school, and every exchange of ideas that takes place among faculty, staff, and students. The wide range of moral education does not occur in a vacuum. It requires the commitment and leadership of the entire adult community within Westover: teaching faculty, dorm parents, administrative staff, coaches, club advisors. The opportunities for moral education arise from the daily interactions of the adults with one another and with the students. They reflect the individual's commitment to lead by example and to share the educational disciplines, their personal interests, and their life experiences in a way that enhances the moral, spiritual, and ethical lives of the students. Okay, that's the description of the award. This year's recipient, the Margaret Love Stevens Award, is a perfect fit. Consider a few of the many student and faculty impacting remarks about this person's moral, spiritual, and ethical influence on our community. She models doing the right thing for the right reason. She epitomizes kindness at every turn. She has a good understanding of the school, and she has an impressive kind of self-possession. She's a wonderful listener and a wise interpreter of people and circumstances. She has a great deal of poise and sophistication and a clear understanding of the mission of the school. Whether we speak about student growth, whether we speak about our days or what time the basketball courts are free, I always know that I will come out of her office with more knowledge and wisdom than I have come in with. Another student wrote, I strive to be more like her morally and ethically. I'm most pleased, therefore, to present this year's Margaret Love Stevens Award to Tracy Luck.
Please rise and sing the Zoe Alfredi, Megan Latino, Paige Carroll, Brittany Sinclair, Elizabeth Cook, Lila Guy, Lydia Davidowitz, Anya Demirta, Meredith Diamond, Christine Dongo, Jen Dunbar, Megan Foltz, Molly DeLucia, Lilia Gardner, Bridget Gatnoni, Annie Gao, Judy Howe, Serena Hogan, Lisa Howe, Diana Huang, Katie Hunter, Julia Huang, Casey Ingerson, Kara Khalifa, Maya Kumar, Michaela Labrisier, Lydia Mahan, Julia Mariano, Tegan McBride, Meredith Moore, Tutu Nunn, Avery Pendleton, Sarah Pino, Ariana Kwan, Katie Sauer, Olivia Senna, Heather Shee, Mickey Shee, Teresa Shee, Iman Shee, Madeline Steele, Mira Submarine, Liana Swartzberg, Isabel Blum, and Tina Wu. Congratulations.
All right, so now we have a few awards to give out. The first one is the Westover Scholastic Award. The Westover Scholastic Award goes to the returning student who has the highest average in the preceding year, regardless of the class. This year, the award goes to Isabella Lund. The Sexton Walker Scholarship Award goes to the returning student who, in the opinion of the faculty and administration, has made excellent use of her abilities and the opportunities available to her, and who possesses the character, the spirit, and the will to preserve and persevere in reaching her goals. This year, the award goes to Jubilee Sandoval. The Doolittle Markham Scholarship Award goes to one of the 4 top-ranked seniors. Besides being one of the outstanding students in her class academically, other criteria for the award are based upon her personal qualities and contributions to school life. This year, the award goes to Jim Dunbar. And our final award, the Elizabeth M. and Joseph L. Mulder Scholarship Award, goes to a student who has attended Westover for at least 2 years. She must be capable academically and possess personal qualities such as enthusiasm for life and learning, integrity, concern for others, self-discipline, resiliency, and a sense of fairness. This year, the award goes to Elizabeth Cook.